call is also Ocean November 8 Echo India. And if my memory's correct, without consulting any internet or QRZ pages, I've got a sneaking suspicion you possibly are the Hermes Light enthusiast. Is that correct?
100%. And in fact, I'm on the Hermes Light right now. Over.
Yeah, no problems at all. John, good to catch you again, mate. It's probably been a good year. I remember you very well. I think I worked you back in the day when you were possibly just starting to experiment with those transceivers and all things Thetis. So I may have made a contact with you back then, and time's moved on since. But I hope you're well, John. I'll give you a report on the long pass in a moment from Belgium. Good to hear you, buddy. What are we looking at? Wednesday night, 9:15 in the evening in Sydney. Ocean November 8, Echo India, VK2, Baker, Whiskey.
Yeah, very good. Well, great to hear you, Steve. I'm delighted that you came back to me because I waited a long time, and sometimes you wait. I've waited in the past like a half an hour to speak to someone, and then they say, and now I'm going QRT. But anyway, that's the fun and games of shortwave radio. And I heard you maybe last night or the night before your time on 40 meters. You were talking to a good pal, and you were talking about Ozzy Osbourne and Metallica and all that sort of stuff. So I do a lot of listening, and I was listening on a Kiwi down in VK5 land. By the way, Steve, you're 5 and 7. You don't have to pinpoint your location. But out of curiosity, what suburb are you living in, over?
Yeah, all copy, John. I understand you're possibly harnessing a Kiwi SDR in across the Tasman the other night on 40 metres. I do remember the conversation. Yes, we're discussing the passing of the late Ozzy Osbourne and the documentary that they had about him. Just before his passing and the final concert there in Birmingham. It was really interesting. Thanks for joining us and putting an ear to the shortwave receiver. It was really cool, John, to know you were there, mate. And location of this station is around an hour's drive southwest of the city of Sydney. We're located south of the catchment area of the Great Warragamba Dam Wall. When I say great, it's the dam feeds the city, the growing city of Sydney. So we're on the fringes of the basin, so the station's located around 300 metres above sea level, John, and we're just embracing the opening on the long path and just trying to enjoy 15 metres. I'm actually on a loan vehicle. I'm driving a transceiver at the moment, which is on loan. A friend of mine has allowed me to have the experience of the SDR domain, so we're running Thetis at the moment via a G2, and we've been tinkering around with it for about a fortnight, maybe 3 weeks, and having a bit of fun with it, John. Ocean November 8, Echo India, VK2BW.
Yeah, Roger on that, Steve. All copied, and you're still rolling in nicely at 5.7. Well, I'm on the, as you know, the Hermes Light, and I'm using an ACOM 1200S to put the power out. Power at the moment is probably about 450 watts. The antenna on this band is a 10-element 5-bander with 2 active elements. The attenuator was taken out of the amp, and that means at the moment the power from the radio is 2 watts, Steve, and it's giving me about 450 I see on my power meter. But for 1 year of my life, from August of 84 to August of 85, I was in VK. And I was in Surrey Hills for 10 months. Over.
John, yeah, Ocean November 8, Echo India. You're down in Surrey Hills. Yeah. In close proximity to the CBD there. You'll have to tell me again exactly when that was, John, and the length of time you spent here. And I understand you're still running the Hermes low drive, and I think you said you're taking out the pad so you can yield your 550 watts. Doing a great job. Your report too, by the way, John, which I did not give you. You're an on a S7, S8 here at the moment into Sydney. And I don't quite have the amount of aluminium in the sky that you do, but we're just running a monoband dedicated to 15 here at the moment in the form of a homemade 2-element quad. And it's around a wavelength, about 16 metres to the boom on the long path here. They're running 400 watts, John. Over.
Yeah, Roger. Well, anyway, doing a great job. And the antenna, antenna is up. It's an OptiBeam. I know you like the homebrew stuff, but sometimes it's nice and handy to have the commercial ones. It's the small one. It's the 10.5. And by the way, also I'm maybe like yourself, but anyway, I'll put my hand up. I'm a great listener of 7138, and I do like listening to Brian and Dr. Peter. Over.
Yeah, boy, it's ironic you mentioned those two stations because Brian's one that I mentioned earlier to Alex, who's probably having his breakfast at the moment. One of the big US stations on a multi-element wire antenna for 40. I think it's something like a 6-element of phased wire dipoles, inverted V dipoles facing west towards the Pacific, and he's certainly quite the station. Reliably there every night as well. So you obviously do a lot of listening, John. A lot of shortwave listening. So you're probably quite familiar with a lot of operators around the world, mate. And like I said to Alex, thanks for being on the band, mate, and using your voice. I know you're very, very passionate about your SDR radios because I do remember straight away without even checking the logbook who you were based on your audio. And I knew you were a big fan of the Hermes Light product. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it actually. What I'm really enjoying, mate, to be honest, is the detailed pan adapter. But most importantly, what brings me here is the noise reduction. It's just amazing. It really is. I'm not running the latest Thetis. I think it's 3.8 or something like that. So it's not current, but the noise reduction too is. By comparison to some of the other radios I've sat in front of, it's far less fatiguing. It really is. If you're into DXing for long periods of time, it's something you can get used to, as you know, John, very, very quickly. Over.
Yeah, exactly right. And sometimes when the stations are really loud, they sound like FM stations. Now, just to give you a quick rundown, I also have the Apache, the 7000. And I'm using it with a VK2 or even 3 amp. That's the 1 kilowatt version, and I can switch between the two radios. And be sure, I'm not going to do this experiment now, but no one can hear the difference between the Hermes Light and the Apache 7000. Over.
Yeah. Well, from my limited understanding, John, I'm far from an expert, mate. But I think it depends on what you're intending on using the radio for. If you need a 100-watt PA, among other things, receivers, antenna ports. I guess there's a lot to consider. I'm sure there's other reasons to pursue the more expensive NAN product. But maybe for SSB phone, it's not quite as critical, John. You may be able to elaborate, over.
Yeah, Roger. Well, I don't use CW. Back in the day, I learnt the CW just to get on HF. But as a guy in Ireland used to say, when I was going over the local bridge, the CW key went in the water. But obviously, I didn't do that. But that's I just do it for phone. And, sometimes, the guys, they go out 5K, 6K, whatever. That's great when the band is a big, there's a big expanse, a lot of real estate, and you can have great experimentation. But I have to say, if I had known now then, I think the Hermes Light was good enough for me. But it's great the way I can swap between the two radios. And what I do, Steve, is every Sunday evening I change radio, but there's no pulling out of plugs or anything like that. It's seamless. I can go between one and the other. Over.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm sure you're the one that's educated enough to comment on the differences between the two radios for our particular mode here on phone. And like you said, there may not be a great deal between them. It depends on what you intend on pursuing. So yeah, interesting you raise that point. And I guess the best part is it gets people into that market, that SDR market, who may not want to spend ridiculous amounts of money to get their toes in the water with feeders. So yeah, it's good to know we've got options out there. I think NN themselves are trying to pick up a little bit of that market that the Chinese have taken from them. They've got a few ideas up their sleeve to accommodate the lower price bracket and still give people a taste of it. So interesting to see what they've got available if they ever answer their purchase request. Very, very strange company. Very, very odd, to say the least, mate. But we'll leave it at that. I've got to get rolling for now, John. I've got to get down to the shops. I'm starving, mate. I've got to go get some tucker. And we'll do it again, mate. If I hear you out there or if you hear me, just put out a call, mate. And you nailed it with the noise reduction. Even though you're only at 7, if I shut my eyes, mate, you could be quite easily 20 dB over 9. There's so much presence in the audio. I'm not sure who's made all the amendments and the refinements. I know it's open source software, but it's pretty bloody amazing, honestly. You're so loud, regardless of the signal report. And mind you, I did calibrate the receiver here to mirror the behaviour of a hotter ICOM radio. So I've basically calibrated this S meter to read or mirror an ICOM without the preamps on. So hopefully it's reasonably close to what the legacy guys are reporting. But regardless, mate, with NR2 running, there's so much presence. It sounds so amazing that I could quite easily fool myself into believing that you're 20 over 9, John. So sounding good from Belgium, man, on that big multi-band antenna. It's working a treat, mate. Ocean November 8 Echo India in Belgium, VK2BW. I'll throw it to you, John, for your final, and I'll have to get moving, over.
Yeah, very good. Okay, well, all copied. You're a solid 5-7, and a pleasure to speak with you. And the microphone that I'm using is a Fadus. You'll see a picture of it on my QRZ page, and I think there's even a link to a short conversation that we had on 17 meters, and I was so impressed with the contact and your audio, I actually put it on my my QRZ page. Over.
Roger, John. Yeah, I do remember the contact. I think that's part of the reason why I remembered you, because you did tell me you were sharing some content on your page. And I think on that particular day I was on the Kenwood transceiver. And all you guys sound amazing on that radio with your Hermes Light vehicle. So yeah, I do remember it sounding quite amazing. It's quite a good listener as well, that radio, if you take a bit of time with it. But yeah, John, thanks for sharing everything with us, mate. And don't be a stranger. If you hear us out there, jump in. And I may even catch you later on. I'll have a look for you when I return on the short path later this evening as we roll towards midnight. We're on long service leave at the moment, so we're definitely been a little bit of a DX pig of late, over.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, it's probably like watching Netflix and watching a series, and you just keep on coming back for more. Okay, well, we'll talk soon. I have to go to the salt mine, so there'll be no radio for a while till tomorrow. But anyway, I'm making a recording, and I'll send you the link. Over.
Yeah, brilliant, 100%, John. I'd appreciate that. I'd really, really appreciate it. Yeah, flick me a link, and I'll be happy to have a listen. And good to hear you on the bands, John. And make sure you don't be a stranger. Like I was saying to Alex, get down and or get up here and use 15 metres as much as you can, mate. It's just an absolute cracker, especially the last couple of months. I'm glad I listened to some of the local Elmers and had a bit of a look at the band. And we'll try and camp here as much as we can. Ocean November 8 Echo India in Belgium, John. We'll see you again soon, mate. 7-3. All the best from VK Land.
Yeah, thank you, Steve, and thank you for picking me up. A real pleasure speaking with you. So VK2 Bravo Whiskey in Sydney, ON80I in Belgium. Thank you, Steve. Till the next time. Over.
See you, John. Have a good day, buddy, and we'll do it again. 100%. 7-3, John. See you, mate.
Yeah, bye bye, Steve. Thank you.
Okay, well, I cannot ignore that station. I'm going to stick around for the station in Deutschland, the German station. Guten Morgen, Guten Abend. QRP. I believe you are QRP, and I find it very surprising because you are incredibly strong. The station QRP in Germany, again, would you call, please, over?
Yes, hello, Steve. My call is Delta Oscar, number 1, Kilo Radio Tango, your 1050 BB overline. My name is QRP with my D, to the long part, Victor Kilo, and the name is Ralph, and the call is Delta Oscar, number 1, Kilo Romeo Tango, 10 watt, 10 watt.
Congratulations, Ralph. Congratulations. Denmark, Oscar, number 1, Kilo Radio Tango. I thank you, Ralph, for the 59 plus 15. I thank you for that lovely report. There must be something amazing happening at your station because on your 10 watts here into Sydney tonight, you are 5 and 7, 5 and 8 at times on your 10, your 10 watts QRP. Congratulations, Ralph. My name is Steve. Stefan, located in Sydney, on Australia's east coast on the long path. Really lovely to work here, Ralph, and congratulations on your low power, over.
Yes, thank you. I hear you with a so strong signal, and I want to say hello, and I want to say my transceiver over Icon 7300 with the broadcasting microphone Bravo Mic 800, and my antenna is a 7 element 3 Maxon, 1 meter over the house. It's identical with the empty beam, 255 degrees to the long path is the kilo.
Amazing, yeah, amazing. 5'7", Ralph. Just tell me again what the antenna is and how many elements and the height above ground. Just elaborate again on the antenna and the height above earth, over.
Yes, I think it's my house is 10 meters. From the ground, 1 meter over the house, 10, 11 meter, 12 meter, I think. It's the antenna, and you can see it in my page, in the Corvette.com. The boom is 3 meter 80, and it's 4 meter 50 gray radius, Roger.
Okay, no problems, Ralph. Well, I'll endeavour to add you to the logbook a little later on, the digital logbook, and I'm going to have a dig at your page, and I will send you an email, and I'll make sure I put in the details and the data about this low power contact. Always enjoyable to work stations working low power, regardless if they're at their home stations. I think it's brilliant. It gives us a real good indication of how the band is, and we've done it a few times ourselves on very low power on the 20 metre band into Deutschland as well. It's a lot of fun. Thanks for the experiment, Ralph. I must get moving to the G stations that are calling in the background. I must apologise. I'll need to get you guys again on the short path later on. But Ralph, congratulations, Ralph. Sehr nett von dir, vielen Dank. Guten Abend. Bis bald, Ralph. Congratulations. Abideri, servus.
Yes, dankeschön. And you have an excellent voice. Your voice is very, very local station. I feel you're sitting in my room, in my check, so loud. It's a baby. It's very, very good, your voice. I hope my broadcast microphone is also good for your ears. Thank you.
Kein Problem, Ralph. Sounds amazing. Q5 into Sydney, Australia on the long path tonight, Ralph. Please don't be a stranger. Next time we meet, you can happily give me QRO, and we'll give you a report as well. But I must run for now. and we'll do it again soon, possibly short path a little later on. 7-3, Ralph.
Yeah, essentially. This moment I have 5 watts in this moment. I don't see it feel different. In this moment I have 5 watts on my beam. 73 all the best.
5 watts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 watts is yielding a 5 and 7, Ralph. A 5 and 7. Congratulations. I will look at your station later and definitely confirm this contact. 7-3, Ralph. Bisbal, Servos, 7-3.
George 0, United Japan kilowatt for you, Steve.
United Japan kilowatt, I'll have to make it very quick, mate. I must run. United kilowatt, I think it was, in G, is that correct?
Yeah, Roger, Golf 0, uniform, Juliet kilo, United Japan kilowatt. Name's Colin, I've got you 67. You live just up the road from my buddy. I've got a friend down in Nowra. And I've had a real difficult time trying to work him, but I can hear you well, Steve, over.
Yeah, all copied, Colin. Nice to work you, mate. Golf 0, uniform, Japan kilo. Colin, nice to work you, buddy. I understand you got a friend in God's country down there near Jervis Bay, near Nowra. It's a beautiful part of the New South Wales coast. Many fond memories of holidays there, Colin. And it's a shame you can't get in contact with your friend. Maybe we need to try and help him get some sort of directional antenna up there for 15 metres. And like you've just discovered, you don't need a lot of power on this path to make it happen, as Ralph in Germany's just displayed. So, Colin, I'll run for now. Flick me an email, let me know where your friend is, and maybe we can go down and give him a hand, or maybe he's already got stuff there at the station. He just needs some help. Who knows? But good to work you, Colin. I'll give you a report on the next transmission. Golf 0, UJK, VK2BW.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, I just think the propagation hasn't been kind to us. That's all, Steve. I just think the propagation hasn't been kind. He's got a lot periodic and he's got an amplifier, but we had a bit of a struggle to get through. We haven't hooked up for a good while. But I heard you. I looked you up on the map and I see you just up the road. I did make it out there a few years ago. Back in the 90s, I went out there twice and I was in Nowra in Sydney. I had a dear friend at VK2BW. He's silent T now, but he was a great friend for many, many years. And I went to visit him in 95, and when his wife was ill and in hospital, we went all the way out there to see her, and 3 weeks later she died. So, and he's passed as well now, but he was a really dear friend. Lived up in Hurstville in Sydney now. But I know you want to run, so I won't hold you too long, Steve. If you want to get away, it's not a problem. I just heard where you was, and I thought I've got to come in and say hello, because you're 57 down here, from G0 UJK.
Yeah, you're 5 and 7 also, Colin. 5 and 7. Congratulations, mate. Don't be a stranger. I'll keep it short for now, but have a look a little bit later on the short path, and we may be able to rendezvous closer to midnight Australian Eastern Time. But we've got you logged at 10:30 UTC at the moment, Colin, and we'll catch up soon, mate. It won't be the last time we talk. 7-3, mate. Bye-bye.
I look forward to catching you again. Take care, Steve. Have a good evening. Enjoy your evening. 7-3 for now.
Yeah, thanks, Colin. I'll get you to elaborate on that station's passing and the gentleman there in Hurstville. I'd be really interested in the history of the station that went silent. 7-3, Colin. All the best there in the UK. We'll see you later on the short path. This is VK2 Bravo Whiskey closing. 7-3, mate. Bye-bye.